My dear students of the second preparatory second term, welcome in new episode. Today we are going to speak about sound reflections, the second lesson of Unit 2. Sound reflections. What is meant by sound reflections? Sound reflection, it is the rebounding of sound when it hits a reflecting surface. If we get a reflecting surface, for example, any surface, metal surface, and when the sound hit this surface and returns back, rebounding of sound to the same source in the same medium, this is called sound reflections. And there are many uses of the sound reflections, and there are laws of sound reflections. Let's study together. Sound reflection. Reflection of sound waves. Number one, dome of the rock in Palestine. Another picture. The big ears of gazelle help the gazelle to hear or to pick up a very weak sound in order to be careful to hide from their enemies. Imperio before pairs can be observed also by the help of sound reflection. Sound reflection. You can observe this person when cutting grass, sound produced from the grass cutter when it hits to the walls, it rebounding again. This is called sound reflection to the same directions. Verifying the laws of sound reflections. To verify the law of sound reflection, we are going to use a certain tools and materials. A wooden plate works as a reflecting surface, a table to put things on it, foam plate to work as an isolating plate which separate between two sides, two cardboard tubes opened from both sides. One of them contains a cell phone. Let's see together the table. Number two, the wooden plate and the foam plate. And here the other person try to help us to find the laws of sound. And two tubes, the first one was letter A and the second was letter B. And a cell phone in one of them. When it turns on, it produces sound, and the sound hits the reflecting surface, which is the wooden plate. The foam to isolate the sound from going to this person, and this person try to hear the best sound, and he moves the tube B to the right and to the left. He moves it to the right and to the left until it hears the best sound. At this point, he are going to remove the plates and so on. We get a wooden plate and put the wooden plate in a perpendicular on the table, perpendicular position, and the two cardboard cylinders opened from both sides, and one of them, which has letter A, contains a cell phone. When it is turned on, it produces sound, and the sound is directed through the tube towards the wooden plate or the reflecting surface. When it hits the reflecting surface, it rebounding, and from the other side, I separate the sound by using a foam plate. I trying to hear the best sound by moving the movable tube, which can be moved. It is moved, but the first one is fixed. I fix it. When I hear the best sound, I remove all this. I remove the wooden plate and I'll take a straight line. I remove the foam plate and I take a perpendicular line from point of incidence. I forget that you have to leave a certain space between the wooden plate and the foam plate, a certain space in order for the sound to pass through. If I close it, the sound cannot pass. I let a certain plate, and I considered this point at which the sound met with the reflecting surface is called the point of incidence, and receiving from the other side the reflected sound ray. By measuring the incident angle and the reflected incident angle, yes, incident angle, it is the angle lies between incident ray and the normal or perpendicular line from point of incidence. Reflected angle, it is the angle lies between reflected ray and the normal. You observe that incident angle between incident ray and the normal. Reflected angle between reflected ray and normal. Normal is common for both definitions, but in case of incident angle, it is incident ray. In case of reflected angle, it is a reflected ray. By observing between the two angles, it gives us an equal amount. The angle of incidence equal the angle of reflections. If we repeat and change the angle of incidence and try to hear the best sound from other side, you can observe that always, even if you make it 100 times, you can observe that always angle of incidence equal angle of reflection, and this was the first law of reflection. Angle of incidence equal angle of reflections. Let's return back to the graphic. This is the reflecting surface, and this is the normal from point of incidence instead of the foam plate. And this is the incident tube, letter A, the incident sound ray, and the yellow ray, it is the reflected sound ray, and X, it is the reflected angle, X yellow, and X red, it is the incident angle. They are equal. Incident angle equal reflected angle. And this was the first law of sound reflections. First law of reflections, angle of incidence equals angle of reflection. Second law of reflection, the incident sound ray, the reflected sound ray, and the normal to the reflecting surface at the point of incidence all lie in one plane perpendicular to the reflecting surface. In one plane perpendicular to the reflecting surface. If we said that this is the incident sound ray, this is the reflecting surface, and this is the incident sound ray, and this is the reflected sound ray, and the normal, the incident and the reflected and the normal are all in one plane, which is perpendicular to the reflecting surface. Incident sound ray, reflected sound ray, and the normal. The three of them are in one plane, which is perpendicular to the reflecting surface. This was the second law of sound reflection. Let's move to another point. When the sound ray is incident perpendicular to a reflecting surface, it reflects on itself, suffer no reflections, since angle of incidence equals angle of reflections and equals 0. This is a reflecting surface, and this is the incident ray is the green, and the reflecting ray is the yellow one. If the incident ray is perpendicular on the reflecting surface, angle of incidence equal angle of reflection equals 0. Since angle of incidence is the angle between incident ray and normal, and there is no angle between incident ray and normal, the incident ray is perpendicular, and so angle of incidence equals the angle of reflections equal 0, and the incident ray perpendicular on a reflecting surface suffers no reflection. Let's move to another point. Echo. What happens if you stand in a certain place and start to speak, and you hear the sound several times? The sound is repeated several times. You can say that it is echo. It is known as echo. This phenomena is known as echo. Echo, it is the repetition of sound due to its reflection. The repetition of sound due to its